Okay, so 𝐒𝐚𝐬, so this is the second generation of the Qing dynasty. He had two advisors, or if you would like to translate as prime minister or something similar. 𝐮𝐸 is really famous with this story. So he is an advisor with a lot of ambition. He wants to take control. So he took a deer to the court, said, I present to you this horse. The emperor was like, sir, you must be mistaken. This is a deer and you call it a horse. Okay, well, what do you say? What do you say this is? So he asked the other officers in the court. And some of them just stayed silent. Some of them tried to say, oh, yes, it's a horse, and tried to agree with him. Some people said, no, that's ridiculous. This is a different animal. It's not a horse. And later on, he found excuses to just kill those people who disagreed. So he really took control. No one dared to question him anymore. So you see, the second emperor already lost control, and still the really cruel rule of the empire continues. So it soon led to rebellion from the people, even though they had no metal as weapon. So Chen Sheng Wu Guang, these are the two names that's associated with farmer rebellion. And it is said it's because of the really harsh punishments. They had a lot of rules, and whichever rule you break, they will punish you really dearly. So when these people, they were leading a group for a task given by the government, and there was a heavy rain and they were late, they said, oh no, we're late, we're not going to get to the place at that date. We're going to get killed. So they said, we're going to die anyway. That's fight against the government. At least that's what they told the people. Now, there is the alternative claim that maybe they lied to the group because they wanted to rebel against the government anyway. They exaggerated the situation. The punishment of being late was not death. But anyway, the point stands that the government has such harsh rules that people get punished and they get duties that the government asks them to do all the time. They cannot have a peaceful life. And so they started to resist. Is that a question?
Yes. Did every break of a law lead to death?
No. It could be you need to pay a fine or need to stay in prison. You can get beaten. I don't know the details. You can look it up, but right now I don't know the details. Okay, so of course, although the first rebellion did not overthrow the government, the later ones did. And if you ever play Chinese chess, you're probably familiar with this chessboard. And it's written 𝐶u Han Jie. This is from the Chu and Han. So these are the two major forces later on in the rebellion against the Qing government. So there are two kingdoms basically established by those people, Liu Bang, who was the leader of Han, and Xiang Yu, the leader of Chu. They started early on cooperating, and later on they had overthrown the Qing government, and they were competing with each other. We can look at Liu Bang. He later became the first emperor of the Han Dynasty. So he defeated Xiang Yu of the Chu kingdom. He had very important three followers who did a lot of the job for them. Xiao He, this is like the prime minister. Zhang Liang, he's a a person with the strategies. He is the advisor. Han Xing is a general. He is really good at managing the army and going to battle. Let's look at a story before we continue with this. Let's look at the story. And this is a story of Taoist wisdom. And it's a kind of strange encounter, passing the shoe on the bridge, 𝐸𝐸𝐿. What does that mean? So this is talking about Zhang Liang. He only just failed in an attempt to set up, to assassinate the emperor. So he ran away. And now he's walking slowly, and he got to a small bridge. It was an old man with rough clothing, and the old man threw his shoe down below the bridge and said, "Young guy, go down and pick up the shoe." He's like, what is going on here? He's really surprised, like he is shocked. He wanted to beat him up. But it's an old guy, okay, I will suppress my anger and I will just do it. He went down and take the shoe. The old man said, "Okay, put it on for me." Okay, well, I have gone this far. I will just do what he says. I will endure, no anger. So the old man is just receiving the shoe, and then he laughed. He left. Zhang Liang was really surprised. Oh, this guy, this old man is not a simple person. He must be something. So he was looking at the old man walking away. Then the old man returned. He said, "Good young man, you can be taught. Wait for 5 days. 5 days from now, when the sun goes up, come here, meet me." Okay, well, Zhang Liang thought, this person is really special. I have to see what he has to say. So he waited for 5 days. And he got to the place. The old man was already there. And the old man was angry. "You had appointment with old person. How can you be late? Wait another 5 days." Okay, well, then he went there at the time when the cock was singing, right? So it was really early. But the old man was already there. The old man was angry. "How can you be later than me? Wait another 5 days." So then the last time he went there at midnight. This time I must be correct. I will not be late because it's not tomorrow yet. So when it's tomorrow, even if he is here immediately, I'm not later than him. The old man came. "That's more like it. That's the way it should be, huh?" And the old man gave him a book and said, "Read this, then you can become the teacher of the king," which means the advisor of the leader, right? And, wait for 10 years and you will have a new appearance, like a new condition of the country. 13 years later, if you come to see me at that location, there's a yellow stone, that's me. Yellow stone. Okay, and he said nothing more, he left. And this is a book of military strategy. So he started this, and he became the advisor of Liu Bang. And he was a decisive character in establishing the Han Dynasty. So what is all this strange story about? Professor Lü Shihao of Taiwan University has a very nice introduction on this. Basically, how do we interpret this story? There is the interaction between Zhang Liang and the old man. And nothing was really said on the surface. It was in the interaction. Basically, the old man was trying to catch his attention, and he was testing him. He was testing if he could suppress his anger and just do as asked. And okay, this guy, he has patience, and he knows how to control his anger. Then I will test him. I will go away. And I come back. He was waiting. He knows I had a message. Then I will test him and say, 5 days later, meet me here. And then he was picking on him and saying, how can you be later than the old man? You had an appointment with an old man. You should be earlier. Now, when I was really small, I thought the story was about being polite to the old people. You should be earlier than the old people. Although this is, of course, also correct, but this is not the important point of the story, because he was teaching him. In Taoist culture, there is the idea of 点化 or 领悟. It means you inspire or enlighten someone with a message which is not spoken. What was the old man telling Zhang Liang? I said, at dawn, when the sun goes up, you meet me here. And if you go there around the time the sun will go up, you will not be certain. You have to come midnight the previous day. So you set up a situation where you would never fail. He was teaching him how to form the condition that ensures success. And this is the idea he taught him first. In using any military tactics, you have to know the concept of setting up the situation where you cannot fail. Then you wait for the enemy to take the next move. This is called xian, which means first. And xian doesn't only mean the first in time, but in fact in a condition where you set up xian, that means you determine the condition. You set up the rule of the game so that you will not fail. And that was the message. We go back to the Han Dynasty. So there are 3 of them. And how did they defeat the Chu kingdom? They had an agreement. Say, we will have border, which is 楚和汉界. We will have border. You rule here, I rule here. And we will be like siblings, we will support each other. We don't fight anymore. When he was on his way back to his new capital, so to say, they decided, I'm going to burn the path. So there's the plank road that's built on the side of the mountain. They said, let's burn it. And let this be a message to say that, look, we're not coming back this way, so we are not fighting you anymore. We will just stay there in peace. And then they started to repair the road slowly. And the enemy was watching. The Chu kingdom was watching. They are repairing this road. Maybe they want to come back. What do they want to do? Let's watch. And then they walked around the other side of the mountain to the place known as Chenchang. So, 暗度陈仓 means you attract attention here, but you actually go to the destination another way. And battle continued. They attacked the Chu kingdom. And in a situation where the Chu army was surrounded, they got people of the Chu kingdom, or maybe people who learned how to sing their songs. They started singing. They say, okay, soldiers, now you sing their songs. So they started singing the local songs of the Chu kingdom. And the soldiers who are surrounded, they started crying. They think of home. They don't have the will to fight anymore. So 四面楚歌 is a term later on used to refer to a really dangerous situation. You're surrounded all sides and you have no chance. This is how they broke the will of the enemy. So the soldiers cannot fight anymore, then they advance. The leader, Zhang Young, he ran all the way to the side of the river, and there was an old man on a small boat saying, I know you, you're the leader of the true kingdom. Come, I will take you over the river, you run quickly. But he refused. He said, I took so many soldiers from home. And, you know, they died far away. I have no face to meet my countrymen anymore. 无颜见江东父老. It means I have no face to see the people at the east side of the river. So he committed suicide. He cut his own throat at the river. He didn't go across. His kingdom ended. In the Tang Dynasty, there was a poet that wrote about him. 胜败兵家事不齐，包羞忍辱是男儿. It means the winning or losing result of military affair is hard to predict. A true man is one that can endure the disgrace of failure, so you can start again. You know, on the east side of the river, there's so many talented and strong young men. If you start again, you never know what the outcome will be. That's how, you know, some people judge him later on. He shouldn't have given up. But that was his choice. And so they established the Han Dynasty. And the general here, Han Xing, he ended up dying miserably because he was considered a threat. He knows how to use the army. And he shows ambition to power. So the emperor, or maybe the wife of the emperor, it was said, had doubt. We don't trust this guy. So they set him up to go into the palace and killed him. In two different writings, we see similar statements. First one from 越王勾践世家, so this is referring to the spring-autumn period, and 华阴侯列传 is referring directly to Han Xing, this general. It says, 狡兔死，良狗烹，高鸟尽，良弓藏. So it means when the purpose is already fulfilled, the tool is not important anymore. We already defeated the true kingdom. The general is not important anymore. Now he's a threat. So if the rabbits are gone, we already hunted all the rabbits, then the hunting dog will be cooked. He becomes food. If the birds are depleted, then the bow is useless. Now we put it away. Therefore, if the enemy state falls, the advisor will die. He's useless now. He's only competing for power with the leader. So this is also connected to the idea of 共患难 or 共富贵, which means at the hard times you can share the difficulties, you can work together. But you have to be careful because some people, when you achieved what you want, when you now have the good time, is he willing to share the benefits? Is he willing to share all the results of your work? You know, maybe he will try to kick other people away. This is the lesson. And Zhang Liang, the advisor, he knows this lesson. He didn't ask for power. He actually said, oh, you know, I will go back and I will do farming, whatever. You know. And he lived long after because the emperor did not consider him to be a threat.